The blue-collar workforce is getting a boost. In February, the construction sector had more than 400,000 job openings. That's a 16% uptick from just a month ago. And there's growing demand for workers there, the younger generation becoming more interested in filling that demand. More on the state, joined by Michael Krupnicki. He's the president of the American Welding Society and owner of Rochester Arc and Flame Center. That's a welding school in upstate New York. So, put another way, what we're seeing is that younger workers are more interested in trades, perhaps, than they were in the past, right, Michael? So what are you seeing at your school? Are you seeing more demand, bigger enrollment as a result of this?
Yes. Hi, Julie. Thanks for having me. So, yeah, I started my school 12 years ago to meet the demand for welders in the Rochester, New York area. After 30 plus years of high school graduates being encouraged to go to college, there's really been a big gap all these years in the trades. So we're seeing not only here in Rochester, but in my pursuits as the AWS president around the country, large demand for welders, border to border, coast to coast.
And in what industries, Michael? Where's the demand coming from?
It's really, welding is over 50% of our GDP. So it's aerospace, agriculture, construction, defense, energy, pipelines, transportation, you name it. If there's metal involved with it, there's demand for welders.
And so what is there? Talk to me about the supply demand then. In other words, are there enough welders to meet that demand?
So the American Welding Society right now has estimated that in each of the next 5 years, America is going to need approximately 82,000 new welders to enter the workforce to keep up with existing demand. We anticipate it's going to go long beyond that. That's just when the crystal ball starts getting a little cloudy. So there's demand now, and there's demand foreseen well into the future.
And Michael, you own that welding school out there in Rochester, New York. I'm just curious, who wants to be a welder? What's the demo?
Yeah, so really it's everybody from age 18 up to their 50s. Primarily, we're seeing folks that are either coming out of high school, or perhaps they came out of high school and they tried college and didn't like it, or they tried, fast food, something like that, and now realize that they need a meaningful career. So our demographic is primarily folks in their 20s. But we also have former white-collar workers that after all these years realize that they don't like working behind a desk anymore at a computer all day. They want to work with their hands and produce things tangible that they can see every day.
And Michael, I'm curious about the gender breakdown too. And do you see it, if it's primarily people in their 20s, is it, different races and ethnicities? Is it different genders? Is it, I think of it as primarily male, but that's probably an outdated view. What can you tell us?
Yeah, sure. So the welding industry is made up of, the statistics that I'm aware of, somewhere around 40 to 50% non-Caucasian, women representing about 6%, but growing. And that was one of the things that we're doing at the American Welding Society, is we are encouraging folks of all demographics to enter this industry, and encouraging young women that are successful in our trade to go back to their schools, back to other schools in their communities, and share the good word with, not only high school people, but junior high and down as far as elementary school too, to start planting those seeds early, that a career in the trades can be both financially lucrative as well as extremely satisfying.
Michael, I'll get you out of there. So, there just seem to be some big trends, Michael, that I think would be bullish for your industry, for welding, kind of longer term. I just think of, the emphasis now we see out of Washington. They want more made here in the U.S. You think about, all these companies now, Michael, they're building new chip making facilities across the country. Those seem like some real tailwinds for your industry.
100%, Josh. That and the Infrastructure Act. It's nice to say we want to replace all of our bridges. Who's going to build them? It's nice to say that we're going to repatriate all of our chip business? Who's going to build these factories? So you are absolutely right. With all these initiatives to reinvest in America, it all takes all these projects take a wide variety of trades to make them reality.
Michael, thank you so much for joining the show today. Really appreciate your time.
No, thank you both very much.